Knowing what shade of window tint to get can be hard, so let's get a few things straight so that way by the end of the video you'll know everything you need to know about tint shades. So for this vehicle here, for the front section of the vehicle, you can see that there's no tints installed. So this is how it looks when it's factory. And now for this section here, there are some vehicles that do come with factory glass tints on them installed already. So for example, this one, depending on the manufacturer, they've already installed some type of tint onto the glass. So for this one, it already comes with roughly 13% tint on the actual glass. So let's say you're looking for a specific tint shade. Let's say like maybe you want to make this into 5% or 0%. You kind of have to do quick math in order to see what film you would need to apply in order to make this into either 5 or whatever percent you're looking for. So let's say that one right now, it's 13%. Let's say you do purchase a 5% film. So this one, it's roughly around 5%, 6%. Let's say you do purchase it, place it together. When you have the film installed onto the glass, it'll be roughly 0.8. So now we'll move on to the section where we do have all the tints available. So there are 3 things you need to look at when purchasing ceramic window tint. It's VLT, UVR, and the third thing is IRR. So when it comes to the first one, VLT, which basically means visible light transmission, it means how much light the film lets into the vehicle. Now for the second one, UVR, it is ultraviolet rejection, which means it is how much the tint blocks out the harmful UV rays that cause damage to the skin and to the vehicle's interior. Now for the last one, IRR, which is infrared rejection or infrared rays, come from the sun, and those rays are the reasons why your vehicle starts to heat up over time. So the higher the number for the UVR and the IRR, the better the tint. So now with all the tints installed, this is how it looks like from the outside view. So right here we have 5%, 20%, 35%, 50%, and 70%. And like I mentioned earlier, this whole section here does not have any tint. So you guys can see the comparison between no tint and with tints installed. Now let's look at it from the inside view. So looking at it from the inside, this is 5%, this would be 20, we have 35 here, 50, and 70%. So now let's take the vehicle on a ride so I can show you guys how it looks when you're driving the vehicle. So now, let's say you're driving to work, dropping off the kids to school, or just doing your daily commute. This is how the tints will look like when you're driving on a sunny day. So for example here, this is how 5% is, 20, 35, 50, and 70. So we're just showing you guys how it looks on different environments. That way you guys could determine which tint shade would best suit your style or you're more comfortable with when you're driving. Of course, it's always recommended just to make sure to always see what your local tint law is. That way you don't get pulled over or get a ticket from police. So with the tints that we have available, it is ceramic window tints. So one thing you do notice when you have ceramic window tint is you don't feel the heat hitting the skin. So with this side here, I could feel the heat hitting my skin on this lower section because there's no tints installed here. And when I have my hand up here, I feel no heat because the ceramic window tint has the properties for the UVR and the IR. Since the properties are at a high percentage, they're doing their job in helping protect and block the UV rays from the sun from entering here. But it's helping keep the vehicle cool as I'm driving to my daily commute. Okay, so now we're stationed in a parking lot. I just want to show you guys real quick on the difference of how much the tint and the difference when you don't have tint and how much heat the glass absorbs. So right here, we do have the solar power meter. So I'm blocking it right now. It's not reading anything. So what this meter measures is the energy and radiation that the sun emits. So when I remove my hand, you will see that it will start measuring the energy waves that come from the sun. So we'll go with 5% first. So when it comes with 5%, as you can see, the BTU reading is 5.2. Now let's move it to the other one. For 20%, you're looking at 11. For 35, you're looking at 21. For 50, you're looking at 27. For 70, you're looking at 40. And then when it comes to no tint, you can see that it starts to increase to a higher number since there's no tint on that side of the window. So if I move it, let's say more down here, where there's no tint, it's reading higher. As opposed to where the tint is, it dramatically drops. So this is our meters during the day. So now let's head back to the warehouse and later on during the nighttime, we'll show you guys how the tints look and how they perform during the nighttime. So we're back at the warehouse. So this is how the tints look during the nighttime. And now we're going to take the vehicle for a ride just so you guys can see how it looks in a lit up environment during the night. So now I'm just driving just to show you guys how the tints look during the nighttime. So just a reminder, this one 5%, 20, 35, 50, and 70, and no tint on the bottom. So during the nighttime, this is the visibility you'll have. Of course, the darker you go, it might be a little bit too dark during the night, but from here you could kind of tell in this type of environment how it looks. As you can see perfectly. For example, the Cars Junior, you could still see it with all these tints installed, even with the 5%. So now we're in an environment where it's not that bright, so it's only a little bit of light outside, but you can still tell, even with when it's dark outside, you're still able to see through the tint when you're driving during the nighttime. Just keep in mind, if you do have problems seeing at night, we always recommend getting the lightest shade of tint, since if you do get the darkest one, you might have a little bit of trouble seeing the outside during the nighttime. So now let's head back to the warehouse. Okay, and that's the end of the video. Make sure to save the video just so you guys can see the different scenarios of how it looks during the day and nighttime. That way it helps you decide what tint you're comfortable with. So we hope this video helped you guys out. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next one. What else do I say? Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?